Hi, my name's Hannah. The decision is to determine which concept from Business 495 is most valuable for my future career. My position is that the 7S alignment model is the most important concept I learned in this course. The 7S model shows that even the best strategy will fail if a company's systems, staff, and culture are not aligned. One could argue that innovation methods are more important, especially for companies like John Deere. And while innovation is critical, it cannot succeed without alignment between structure, systems, and the rest of the organization. Therefore, since organizational alignment determines whether strategies and innovation succeed, the 7S model is the most valuable concept for my future career. When I think back on this class, one of the biggest moments for me was working on the Under Armour project. At first, I focused mostly on their innovation, things like moisture wicking technology and the UA flow cushioning. Those stood out to me right away, and I assumed that that was probably the main reason the company was successful. But as I got deeper into the project, I realized that those innovations didn't happen on their own. They depended on the company's internal environment to actually succeed. Under Armour has a structure that supports innovation, the right staff with specialized skills, and systems that allow ideas to move from department to production efficiently. And without those things in place, even the best ideas wouldn't make it very far. That's when the 7S model really clicked in my head. It showed me that a company isn't just built on strategy alone. It's made up of multiple interconnected parts, including structure, systems, staff, style, skills, shared value, and strategy. And what stood out most to me is that even when one of those areas are misaligned, it can create problems across the entire organization. And it really shifted how I think because I stopped looking at businesses in isolated pieces and started seeing them as a complete system. This became even more important to me because I want to go into supply chain after graduation, specifically with the company John Deere. And from what I've seen from my dad's experience working with international partners, supply chain is much more complex than just moving products from one place to another. It requires coordination across different teams, time zones, systems, and even one small issue can create a very large disruption. As John Deere continues to develop to new technologies, though, like autonomous equipment and smart farming systems, that complexity is only going to increase. And these innovations require not just strong engineering, but also strong organizational support. For example, new technology needs to be integrated into existing systems. Employees need to be trained to use it effectively, and different departments need to communicate clearly to keep everything running smoothly. That's exactly where I see the 7S model being useful in my career. If I'm working in supply chain and a new system or process is introduced, I wouldn't just focus on whether the system itself is working. I would also think about whether the company's structure allows for efficient decision making, whether employees have the right training and skills, and whether leadership is encouraging collaboration and, most importantly, adaptability. All of those factors play a role in whether a change is actually going to be successful. And another way I would apply this is when problem solving. This class changed how I approach challenges because now I understand that problems are often caused by misalignment and not just isolated issues. For an example, if there's a delay in the supply chain, it might seem like a logistics or a process problem at first. But using the 7S model, I would also consider whether there are communication breakdowns, unclear responsibilities, or system inefficiencies contributing to that delay. I also think this mindset gives me a real advantage going into my career. A lot of people in supply chain focus primarily on efficiencies and cost reduction, which are definitely important, but not everyone takes the time to look at how all parts of an organization are working together. And by using the 7S model, I can step back, look at the bigger picture, and come up with solutions that are more complete and more effective in the long run. Overall, Business 495 completely changed the way I think about business. I no longer see strategy as something separate from the rest of the company. Instead, I understand that strategy only works when it's fully supported by the organization as a whole. And going forward, I want to apply this mindset in my career not just by improving individual processes, but by improving how everything is working together. I want to be someone who can recognize when things are misaligned and help bring different parts of an organization into sync. And that's why the 7S model stands out to me as the most valuable concept I learned in this course. It's not just a theory, it's a practical tool that I can apply in real situations, and it's something I know will continue to be useful throughout my entire career, wherever I go.